Ford Pinto. One of the most infamous cars in automotive history, the Ford Pinto, a compact, cheap vehicle designed to compete with the growing wave of Japanese imports. Small, efficient, accessible, everything the market wanted. But hidden behind that simplicity was a fatal flaw. The fuel tank, placed dangerously close to the rear, turned the car into a rolling hazard. In low-speed rear collisions, something shocking would happen. The tank could rupture and the car could instantly burst into flames. Reports began to surface. Accidents that shouldn't have been deadly but were. Families trapped, fires spreading in seconds. Outcomes that felt almost unreal, but they were very real. Lawsuits piled up. Evidence emerged that the risk was known, and public outrage exploded. What started as an affordable car quickly became a symbol of corporate negligence. Multiple deaths, severe injuries, and a reputation that would never recover. The Pinto didn't just fail, it became a warning to the entire automotive industry. Before we continue, leave a comment here. If you've ever seen or heard of an accident involving this car model. Now let's get back to the video. Ford Explorer plus Firestone tires, one of the deadliest automotive scandals in US history. The Ford Explorer paired with Firestone tires. At the time, this SUV was everywhere. Trusted by families, widely sold and seen as safe, until something started to go very wrong. At high speeds, the tires could suddenly fail, blowing out without warning, causing drivers to instantly lose control. And in a tall SUV with a high center of gravity, that meant one thing: rollovers. Violent, unpredictable, and often fatal. Reports started piling up. Accidents across highways, families involved, situations that escalated in seconds. It wasn't isolated, it was systemic. Hundreds of crashes were recorded, and the number of confirmed deaths surpassed 200! The public reaction was explosive. Investigations were launched, and pressure mounted fast. What followed was a massive recall, one of the largest in automotive history, and the complete collapse of the Ford and Firestone partnership. Trust was shattered. And this case became a defining example of how a single failure can trigger nationwide tragedy. Ford Bronco II, a vehicle known for its high rollover risk, the Ford Bronco II. A compact SUV built for off-road adventure, tough, capable, and designed to handle rough terrain. At least, that was the idea. But something didn't translate well to real-world driving. The vehicle had a high center of gravity, and when combined with sudden turns or evasive maneuvers, it became dangerously unstable. Drivers would enter a curve, something routine, something simple, and then suddenly the vehicle could tip, lose balance, and roll over. Reports started to surface, accident after accident, many of them severe, many of them fatal. It wasn't just bad luck, it was a pattern. Dozens of deaths were linked to rollover incidents involving the Bronco II, raising serious concerns about SUV design at the time. Lawsuits followed, pressure increased, and the debate around vehicle safety grew louder. This wasn't just about one model. It exposed a much bigger issue in the automotive world. Ford Crown Victoria. A police car with a hidden deadly flaw, the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. For decades, this was the standard patrol vehicle across the United States, trusted, durable, and present in nearly every city. It was part of the system. But behind that reliability, there was a critical vulnerability. The fuel tank, positioned in a way that made it exposed during rear impacts, turned routine situations into deadly ones. In high-speed pursuits, or even while parked on the roadside, a collision from behind could trigger something devastating. Fire! Multiple incidents were reported, patrol cars engulfed in flames within seconds, officers trapped with no time to react, situations that should have been survivable, but weren't. Several officers lost their lives in these accidents, raising serious alarm across departments. The pressure grew fast. Lawsuits emerged, and public scrutiny intensified. Authorities demanded changes, reinforcements were added, and policies were reviewed. But the damage was already done. This wasn't just a flaw. It was a failure that cost lives. If you're enjoying this content, leave a like and subscribe to receive future videos. Ford GT40. Built to win races, but at extreme risk. The Ford GT40 was a machine created for one purpose: domination at Le Mans, pushing speed and performance beyond limits. Low, aggressive, and incredibly fast, it became a legend on the track. but also part of one of the most dangerous eras in motorsport history. Back then, safety was minimal, almost secondary. Cars reached insane speeds, but protection for drivers was limited, and when something went wrong, it went very wrong. High-speed crashes were brutal, sudden, and often unsurvivable. The GT40 raced in an environment where fatal accidents were not rare. They were expected. Several serious incidents occurred during endurance races, where fatigue, speed, and mechanical stress combined into a deadly mix. The consequences were severe, with multiple fatalities across the racing world during that era. But from that danger came change. Regulations improved, safety standards evolved, and the sport was forced to adapt. The GT40 didn't just win races, it existed in a time that reshaped motorsport forever. Ford Mustang, one of the most iconic cars ever made, with a dangerously real reputation. The Ford Mustang, a symbol of power, freedom, and American muscle, became one of the most popular performance cars on the road. But with that power came something else: risk. Especially in older generations, the combination of strong acceleration and limited traction made the car difficult to control, particularly for inexperienced drivers. A sudden throttle, a quick turn, and the rear could break loose instantly. Loss of control happened fast, often without warning, turning simple situations into serious crashes. Over the years, countless accidents were reported, many involving high speeds, spins, and collisions that ended in tragedy. Fatal cases became part of the car's history, reinforcing a reputation that followed it for decades. It wasn't just about performance, it was about control. As technology evolved, systems like traction control and stability assist were introduced to reduce these risks, but the legacy remained. The Mustang is powerful, but in the wrong hands, it can quickly become unforgiving. If you made it this far, you already know this channel is different. I bring real stories, real events, and the dark side of things most people ignore. So if you enjoyed this, hit the like and subscribe right now. That's what keeps me going and allows me to keep bringing videos like this, and trust me, the next ones get even crazier.